Good morning, everybody on LinkedIn also. And I'm here to really present to you my viewpoint on heartfulness, how we are better off by being heartfulness rather than all, analysis and cognitive and always assessing from the mind point of view, right? So we do feel this heartfulness with our moms, with our best friends, with our spouses, maybe, but it's more like a giving from the heart, streaming everything, all the thoughts and everything through the heart, and then responding from your compassion, kindness, love-based perspective, right? You don't have to be thinking too much. You just be your normal human. Just be loving, just be giving, just be sharing, you know. Uh, so this is important even to get friends or, or sustain friendships or giving relationship a meaning and make life worthwhile. Right, basically that's what we are talking about, now how I come about this is uh, more of my upbringing. My mom was all heart. You see, she's not like other people, wily, cunning, and shrewd, or anything like that, right? She just very, very kind and very yielding, very uh, fulfilling the needs of others rather than herself. She put herself at the last, actually. I'll tell you a small story about that. Uh, I was very young, and we had a big palace-like house, and that was built when my dad was alive. But after he passed, she didn't have the means to maintain that big house, so she rented it out, and then we kind of grew up on that rent and all. So we are landlords, right? So we used to give it to the big offices because it's a big space, right? And they used to have two people as watchmen overnight so that they can watch the place and the important documents are protected, something like that. So these two people come and stay there, and then they get up around midnight, and then they wander around the building continuously. So that's their job, right? Okay. So my mom used to befriend them and then treat them like her own children, so they loved her, and she went and talked to them. I don't know what she talked, but she talked to them a little bit. And uh, there at the time there was no refrigeration, so we are to cook what is enough for everybody, and then no waste, no leftovers, and then you go to sleep, right? So she used to cook the food and all that, but then her portion, she used to take it and give it to those the guys in downstairs in their office. And then she lots of times she didn't eat all. She didn't. She went half hungry probably and gave it to them. And then when I asked her, "Oh, I feel full already by feeding them. That's why I go and do that." So this is a quality of the essential human quality of giving, sharing, and really loving, right? I think we have become more of very hard-hearted people. There was a study done in New York City where they found people were on the road, almost hit by a car or whatever, and they are bleeding and dying, and nobody really took care of it. Nobody even called the 911, and then they let it go like that, and they walked off from there as though it doesn't matter to them. So then the question was, where is our civilization going? What kind of things we are breeding, right? So Open up your heart, be heartful, and see what happens, right? Other way to look at it is meditation actually is to help the mind to calm down, be in peace, and also use the intellect to do the things that you could do with your own uh, learned technology, learned skills, or whatever, right? But deliver them with kindness, with compassion, with giving nature, right? So there is a I don't know whether it is really true or not, but let's see who is coming here. Ravin Soda. I
Actually, not the angel guide or it's my favorite book.
I
Um, and I think two cards in general read for everyone that's here today. The first card are strength,
I can't hear you very
and the
well,
second
Robin.
card is
I can't
chance. It's like going to. So the first card is of the angel.
I
When you
can't
hear
hear you very well, Robin. It is very scratchy.
and love this card because it's the card that when it's in a strength position, the angels are saying to us, thank you for choosing the path of your people. Thank you for choosing this group,
Yeah.
for hearing them call. And what part of the strength is so that everyone likes right? Is a crucial individual. We have this inventory of life and everything that and everything that is left. Particular life. And in this, the angels want you to know that you are full touch with your root self any. This is the point where you are stepping into the best of you. This is the time where you are really stepping into your
Okay. Robin was saying something, but I could not hear him very well because he's kind of in matrix, probably. Anyway, if he comes back, maybe the audio is fixed. Then we can talk to him. Thanks for joining, though, and kind of trying to contribute. So we were really looking at even working conditions. For example, I'm in healthcare industry. Now I'm not in very active practice, but I do treat a lot of people with a lot of problems that are related to their mind. So they get anxious, they get depressed, they get heartbroken because of some relationship broke, or they have severe inadequacy problems because of the racism or whatever. And a lot of people have insecurity problems and all that, right? So, how do we take them from their mind to their heart is just make them watch those thoughts, observe those thoughts, and then see who is the person that is evaluating all this, or is it your heart that is telling you you should be, you have the feeling, right? My heart tells me i should I should forgive this person, I should make amends with this person, or whatever, right? Whereas your ego or your thoughts may say, I shouldn't be yielding to him, I should be punishing him. So, from that kind of thinking, you can go into your real feeling of what this is all about, what our human beings are about, and how, as human beings, we can accept people not with all perfect conditions, but also who don't have that near perfection, right? Um, it is very healing for us too when we do that, right? Otherwise, if you engage in assessment and you go on build up an image and you are fighting with it, that's a different problem, right? Then people will be really put off by you because you're always judging them, you're always assessing them, you are always putting them down by imposing on them something that you think they may think that is not there, you know. So all this is unnecessary if you come from the heart. Here, I'm going to tell you about spiritual wisdom that I learned from the ancient wisdom. Ramana Maharshi, he said this. He said, we are born with a spiritual heart, and that is all encompassing, oneness of all, and really sees the divinity in everything, right? So, into that heart, the mind comes into it from it, not into it. From the heart, the mind evolves and then separates itself from the heart. So we end up being our own egoic personality, our own sense of this body and mind, our mind, these qualities of mind. And that's how we identify with ourselves away from the heart. So, spiritual journey is to bring back that mind and make it go home where it came from. That's the heart, right? So, it's a very difficult concept to understand in real life because our mind reacts so fast, so deep, so quickly. We don't allow all those thoughts and everything to be aside. So, this is when you really understand your thoughts, you really watch them, and you say, I'm the watcher of thoughts, I'm not the thoughts. Then you can break your identity with the thoughts and then use it for practical purposes. But when it comes to relationships and inner matters, you want to be heartful. I hope this makes sense to you all because this gives enormous peace, enormous joy or happiness or bliss, and you kind of not going in your own rage or your own hatred or your own assessments and all that, but you kind of accept just because they are human beings and then go from there. So that kind of thing you want to really be in, right? The more civilized, the more evolved, the more elevated human beings are, the more they are heartful. You can think about that. You can take a good look at it, what I said about that. And then it's not about, again, using the mind and assessing what we said. It's about feeling how is that my interior is. So one of the big insights happened to me was um, you have to be inwardly oriented for any transformation in a human being, and then you don't want to use the intellect and senses which are outgoing, but the intuitive feeling that is inward. Then you can feel intuitively what the quality of your inner self is. Is it revengeful? Is it hateful? Is it angry? Or is it compassionate, kind, considerate, affectionate, loving, giving? Is that what it is? Once you see it for yourself, you don't have to judge based on that. Then you can see how unnecessary to be divisive, to be hateful, to be uh, angry, and all those things, right? Then you yourself will have the peace in you, right? So you always focus on your inner self and non judgmentally. And then the very fact that you are aware of it, the anger goes down. The very fact that you are aware of it, jealousy goes down. And that way you transform yourself from that, maybe a little, maybe a lot. It depends upon different several factors, right? But once you are viewing things like a, that's okay, he's a another human being, but he's erring, you know, you can forgive the weirdest or most cruel human beings also What happens is that other person may not change, but you are not damaging yourself by your own anger, by your own jealousy, by your own hatred, and all that. That is the benefit of it. So always use the mind for things of the life and practical things and all that. For that, you don't have to have an opinion on all that. But then, when it comes to relationships and dealing with humans or animals or the planet, you want to be heartful. That's what I kind of try to be, and then come from there. So that's why I don't have to retain all the things that people do to me. They can do so much, but I don't really pay attention to that because I'm full by being heartful myself. Okay, so that's a great thing about heartfulness is. Now, when it comes to wellness and heartfulness, it has a huge role. Suppose your heartful means you have your mind under your control. You have the reactions of the mind under your control. And those reactions, suppose somebody come and tell you insultingly you're a hoax, you are nothing and all that. And that is his opinion. But what my job is to observe how my mind is reacting to that words, to those words. And if I can see why do I have to react to somebody's non-based prejudicial statement, you know, then it is his burden, his problem. But I won't make a reaction which neurological reaction that induces chemical reaction, stress hormones, humoral hormones, and all those things will come, right? And that is pretty bad for my own health. So otherwise, I will let go things, I'll forgive people, and I kind of don't want to retain that. But I just want to serve the people and give whatever I want. And in that, I experience a lot of joy. Then I'm heartful, using the mind, but not letting the mind build up these ego or personality related reactions. In that way, we are very well off. Okay, we are well inside because we don't secrete all these stress hormones that do with anger, with rage, or with hatred, with all those things, right? I think that's why it makes so much sense to me to be hurtful. So don't judge yourself just because you are not hurtful at this time, but consider, is that human to be kind and compassionate and loving, or is that human when you're hateful, you are uh, really angry and unforgiving and all that? By being the lower part of ourselves, which is the animalistic part of ourselves, allowing the mind to react like that, what is happening is we are really secreting a lot of stress hormones, and that's why we kind of succumb to it in terms of wellness. In the wellness part, where you feel happy, peaceful, and really able to give to the world and live a meaningful life, that will not be there because you are spoiling your inner health by secreting all these stress hormones. Like, you go to your office and your boss is pretty negative, and then he puts you down, he kind of discourages you, he kind of wants to enjoy you going down. So he himself succumbs to that violence he's getting emotionally, and all that, right? Most of the burnout people, stressful people, are those who never take care of their mind and heart. So when they come to me, that's where we start. And then I first ask them, sit down in the morning, in the evening, and just focus on your inner self, what's going on. Close your eyes and follow the thoughts as they come. Don't indulge in them or don't suppress them. Just watch them. And as you're watching, they lose that grip on you and they go down. If you start doing that every day, after a few months, you will notice not many thoughts are coming, and I don't do anything about it, and then they subside by themselves. Once you have that, phenomena happen, you will see you feel better inside. You are more about, uh, you know, giving and sharing, and you feel good because you gain friends, you gain relatives, you gain a lot of things that you want in life and all that. But you don't do them for that. It happens. And lately, that's not much valued. More of these things and technical stuff, all those are more important. That's why we have become more technological, mechanical, and losing our heartfulness. So use the technology with control, use your mind also with control, and be giving and loving and sharing. That is heartfulness. I am very happy this was put into me by my mom without so much stating. All she did was she lived a life where she was giving all the time, loving all the time, and she showed how beautiful it is, her smile, how her hug was very good for a lot of people. And even when she came here to live with us, she made so many friends, even though she doesn't speak English. Her smile, her willing hug, and also she used to cook beautifully and then serve them. And those people really, really understood what it is, and they craved to come back to her to visit her. So you can see the power of openness with your heart and giving a warm smile and hugging somebody without expecting anything from them, and really not ask. I never saw her asking anybody anything, never. So it's a kind of abundance we create from our heart that we can give to other people. Okay, I'm sure you all have this in your experience, I'm sure. But uh, many coaches, many of the meditation teachers, they only focus on how to stop the mind and all that. But then the next step is let the mind merge into the heart, the feelings, the considerations, the giving nature. Those kind of things you want to focus on. So be heartful, be very happy. So here I will ask anybody else want to come up. I'm more than happy to engage you. Okay. Uh, Hi Terry,
Hello, Dr.
how are you?
I'm feeling I'm full of heartfulness.
Good, good. Okay.
Yeah, I came in late to the talk, but I understand the sort of message you're putting out there.
Yeah,
And I like to use the analogy of a sailing ship,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Armored sailing on the ocean waves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes there might be a little storm gets whipped up all of a sudden,
Mm.
and it gets a bit rocky.
Mm.
But the trick is to be aware of the storm,
Yeah,
and deal with it.
exactly.
Yeah,
To be aware of. That's the key. Yeah.
that's right. And we are um, in this material world, we are driven by our egos sometimes and our emotions.
Yeah, a lot.
As you said, become aware of them
Yes.
and learn how to control them.
See, the ego, you cannot conquer it, but you can make it a slave.
Yeah, so emotions um, are a requirement of being a human being.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if a lion was running at you,
Mm.
you wouldn't think, oh, look at that beautiful lion. You stand there and wait for the lion to eat you. But no, the emotions are there to get the adrenaline going, fight or flight, as they say.
And that is a physical protection. That is natural.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our body has an instinctive protective mechanism. And sometimes it's because, I'll give another example. I was nearly run over once.
Mm.
and I didn't even think about it. I just saw this vehicle at the corner of my eye, just as I was crossing the road, approaching, zooming around the corner, and I just sort of something just told me to stop, and I stopped, and I was literally at an angle.
Yeah.
And this vehicle zoomed past, missed me by about an inch, 2 inches at the most.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I was suspended, like an invisible hand was holding me, you know.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, we have the physical danger at one time. That is why the nervous system is built to respond to this. That is the fight or flight syndrome. But lately, of modern times, we imagine those dangers and then respond like that. So that's a phantom dangers that we allow ourselves. Like, for example, if I see you, why do I have to see you as another human being that is opposed to me rather than another human being, same tribe, right? So we can get along, and we can really understand and improve our lives, you know. But our ego comes in between.
We should learn to feel more and think less.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, let's see. Ronald is on the line, so let's get him. Hi,
Hey,
Ronald.
Dr. Riley, how's it going?
How are you?
Wonderful, thank you. I
Yeah.
think this is a cool topic because I think sometimes people don't see how people see them.
Yeah.
I think people are not necessarily aware.
Mm-hmm.
My dad said many times it is just to be nice as it is to be the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't have to be mean, you don't have to be ignorant, you don't have to be disrespectful. But sometimes people choose to be.
Yeah.
I listened to Steve Brown a long time ago. I used to listen to him every day at Key Life. He's got YouTube videos. He's on what is keylife.org or whatever. But one thing he said is sometimes people can only love to the capacity that they've been loved. And sometimes if people haven't really been loved, they don't really realize that they're not coming across as being heartless.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. You see, older times people are more loving. That's why kids also learn that. Nowadays, it's all about themselves. It's not about giving. You know, I think you're right. My mom was very heartful. Maybe that's why I got stuck to that. You know, even though I came to the United States, I never bought into this commercial create culture because in my patients, I like to treat them. I like to see they are getting rid of suffering. I was not bothered about the money and all that, you know. But then once you come to the culture, you see all that, and I saw a lot of that is producing a lot of stress for us.
Yeah, I think sometimes heartlessness comes in many areas. I think sometimes government people have had they take away people's weapons or they allow stuff to go into the field of agriculture that goes against the natural way. When like you used to be able every watermelon you got used to have seeds in it. Now they make seeds. So it changes the structure. I mean, I think the people who maybe allow that don't understand that that could be heartless in the aspect people can't grow stuff in the future from it, or it might change it to where it's not as healthy.
Yeah.
So they might have it when they're allowing that kind of stuff. But I think there's so many other aspects of heartlessness, and I believe, I think it's a wonderful format. You have a lot of good points in your thoughts and good subjects and good content. I think a lot of people don't even know how helpful it is. I also be a lot more people in here listening. But thank you for having this topic today
Sure,
and this
Tom.
discussion. And I'm glad to be able to hear some insight on this because I need to be aware if I'm ever like that because I don't really realize that and it's not my intent. But sometimes people do it without recognizing it.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd add a couple points of the way I was looking at this.
Yeah. Thank you, Ronald. Yeah, that's an important point I think Ronald brought out is the more people are exposed to the loving atmosphere, loving upbringing, even in the office, even in the clinic, wherever we are, if you can impose that kind of behavior and value as a leader. By the way, I do train people on what's called servant leadership. That means, as a leader, you put all the people that you are serving or you are leading, their needs first, not your needs. And that is a heartful way too. Uh, yeah, CEO comes, and that I think quite missing here because many CEOs make so much money compared to the people who are really producing the goods. That gap between that rich and poor is really saddening. But if the leader inculcates the attitude, let me take care of needs of others first, that means I'm going to serve them, basically serve them, service them, then he not only becomes an important figure in their life, he gets a lot of love and respect by many. Some people may take advantage of him, but many would be happy. But the thing is, you are psychologically happier and less stress and more enjoyable life. Even the difficulties come. That you remember that movie, "It's a Wonderful Life" by uh, I don't remember the name of the actor, but it was a wonderful movie. And that no man is poor if he has friends. And it used to be a time when friends really did good things for us. I mean, at some stage of our life, we all had friends who are like that, who are really, you know, considering you, happy for you if you have some victory, or really try to go out their way to come to your aid. Those kind of things used to be there, right? So in that, when the hero gets into trouble, a lot of friends are there to bail him out. You know, that is the richness of anybody, right? Uh, and in the ancient wisdom, for example, I saw these people, first of all, they are selfless. Next, they were serving others and then always worried about how we can rectify the problems they have or really help them in their need or help them to go beyond the suffering. Okay, the entire ancient wisdom is about not only going beyond your suffering, that means not conquering it, but understanding and transcending. Same as ego also. Understand the ego and transcend it. Don't be a slave to it. Make it your slave. And they are selfless, they are serving, and also they kind of had this regard for a bigger force that is running the world. You can call God, you can call consciousness, you can call whatever it is. And also, they had this mind that is focused. So, modern life, see, our minds are not focused. We don't really care about divinity or anything. And we kind of very self oriented people, right? That has how we evolved into this. But then look at modern times. We have anxiety, depression, mental health is getting worse, even though our external life has become so much more comfortable. And we are divided and we are fighting wars with each other, and enormous toll, human life, human assets, everything is going but never stops, right? So we may have developed technologically, but we are taking a very serious back steps in our inward nature. So that's why revisiting back with heartfulness in leadership positions is very important. I spend a lot of my energy on that. I train people how to be, first of all, understand their own strengths and improve the physical nature or mental nature or your inner qualities and all that. It's basically slowing down, calming down, quieting down, and sitting down and observe what's going on. And then just by observation, just by awareness, you can transform a lot of things. Suppose nobody tells you that you kind of get angry on a flip and you go on doing that and you are hurting so many people, including the family and everybody. The consequences will come back to you, right? So you want to understand, why am I reacting so quickly, so negatively to anybody's comment or anything, then you will be able to sit down and calm down and then watch that anger when it comes, and immediately it will go down because you are observing, you are not indulging in it. Okay, so these kind of things I teach them how to be aware of what's going on within themselves. See, there is a broad definition that was given in the ancient wisdom is if you worry about the world and everything else, then you are materialistic. But if you worry about your mind that is reacting inside and you observe all that and get rid of it and be a really highly intelligent, highly compassionate human being, then you are spiritual. Obviously, we all want that way, right? So it's a very nice. Some people came and talked about this topic, and anybody else who wants to come up, please be my guest, and I'll be closing otherwise in a few minutes. So be heartful. The first thing to do, be heartful, is recognize the value of people who are around us. Around us are heartful, are giving, and how much we enjoy their company, how much we remember them, how much we want to be with them, and all that. And then inculcate more association with them, and also try to learn the traits, understand how they react, how they do, and most of the time these people are the ones who resolve things, who kind of help people in so many ways, right? And then cultivate a daily practice of calming your mind, quietening your mind, and then bringing your heart out in many situations. So you can say, I'm in the same human tribe, or you can say, that's okay. Some people are like children, they have not learned. And you can say, let me be the elder person or mature person and forgive and forget and be happy with what I have. Those kind of things are not retrogressive or negative. They are actually your abundance as a human being. Once you have that abundance touch, and you don't need much from anybody, you will be the giving person, and that giving is itself becomes the big deal for you, gives you a lot of strength. Hopefully that all makes sense. It's not like a preaching anything, it's like a practicality of we are working very fast, we're very too much thinking, too much data, too much unnecessary activity outward to gather nonsensical stuff, and then to really, spend all our energy. Versus, let me be first. Let me attend to the being also and balance it with the doing. Then you will be much more synchronized with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your inner spirit, with your voice, with your action. This synchronization happens, then you are stable in any situation. It doesn't matter whether it is a big problem or small problem. How you react will go down, and you will be responding to those situations without reacting emotionally so badly. And that is good for your wellness. Okay. So I always come to that. Okay. So uh, be happy that we are human beings, we have this intelligence, we have these qualities to be loving and giving and sharing, and we can rejoice in them, and bring them forth by not being too much thoughts, too much analysis, but more of too much heart, too much feeling, and too much kindness and all that. And that way you will be in your abundance and you will live a beautiful life. Okay. Thank you, and I'll be seeing you back again whenever I have the time again. Bye.